What are the two receptive skills?
One will be listening.
Yes. And the other one is
Reading?
reading. Right, receptive doesn't mean passive, right? Because listening to something and reading something is actually a very much an active skill, right? It's just that it's not productive in the same way as
Speaking?
the speaking and writing, right? Which we'll look at next week. Well, next time in our next session, which will be on September the 5th, right? So it's useful when we're thinking about skills to subdivide them. So that's why we often talk about sub skills. Yeah. Think about driving. Right? Driving is a skill, right? What are the sub skills of driving?
Visual?
Well, yes, I mean, you need to look, don't you? You need to look in the mirror, right? Before signaling that you're going to do a turn, you look in the mirror, don't you? Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of that MSM, mirror, look in the mirror, then you signal, and then you maneuver, MSM. Yeah, so that is a sub skill of driving, right? Is using the right procedures um, before making a maneuver. Another could be the use of the handbrake, yeah, or the use of the clutch, yeah, when you're changing gears on a manual uh, car. So you need different sub skills for the different car as well, don't you? Yeah. Parking, how to move reverse, yeah, is also a sub skill of driving, isn't it? Using reversing appropriately. Yeah. So equally, when we're talking about sub skills, we can divide those up. So what would you say are the sub skills of listening? The basic one, there's usually about uh, three for each one, right? Basic ones.
It could be paying attention to pronunciation.
The main subskill, the most broad one for listening is gist, right? Listening for gist, like the
Okay.
general understanding, yeah?
Okay.
And there are other ones as well. We mentioned them today. Specific information. Yeah, like listening for numbers and dates and so on. Yeah, and we can train our students to listen in those ways. All right, with the different questions and tasks that we give them. And there's listening for detail, which is actually a little different from listening for specific information because it might be listening for a whole idea or a sentence, a concept. So equally, reading has its equivalents. We can call it reading for gist. It's all in terms of reading, it's also called skimming, right? And we can read for specific information as well.
Scanning, right?
That's called scanning, yes. Typical task might be, what year was Winston Churchill born? Yeah, and in the text, it's got that information, like 1879, yeah? And the students have to read as quickly as they can and find that information, extract it. Now, and then there's also reading for detail. But that would require the students to read maybe a whole sentence or a whole paragraph and extract an idea. Yeah. So what was Churchill's attitude towards India, according to the author? Yeah. What was Churchill's attitude to India? So they've got to read, maybe find the sentence that contains that idea and write the answer down. Yeah. There are sub skills for speaking and writing as well, but we're not going to cover those today. So this is an important concept, and it comes up on TKT time and time again, is the idea of sub-skills, right? The main receptive and productive skills can be divided up into sub-skills, and we have to sometimes identify the tasks that are being used in a course book to develop these sub-skills, right? So this will be tested on TKT. Is that more or less clear? Any doubts? I just wanted to try and clear that up. It takes a while for you to get it, yeah. So and you have to sort of do reading and maybe look at TKT materials and different sources before you get it.
So it's going to be timed, right? The test.
Is it
There's a time
timed?
limit.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we
For
looked at that
each activity.
we looked at that last week, yeah, with the idea that there are 80 questions, and there might be a section of the TKT exam, maybe the first module, in which they focus on sub-skills and the receptive and productive skills. That will probably be in module 1. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you a reading so that you get a sense of what it is like to read for gist and read for detail. Before we do, let's just check some concepts again. The words in pink we need to check just to revise them because they're going to come up in the reading I'm going to give you. So cohesion. Danny, what can you remember what cohesion is? What is the definition there? The simple definition.
It's the one that links between sentences, right?
No, it would be connections between ideas. This is cohesion is sorry, yes, you're right, actually. You're right. It's links between sentences, like those word links like but, and because. Yeah. In fact, these connectors, but, and because, they can link clauses and they can also link sentences together. And that's cohesion. What is coherence, Ana Paula?
Connections between in a text.
Yes, between ideas within a text. Yeah. And coherence is related to how logical the ideas are. Right? Can we follow the development of the ideas? Schemata. Sochitel, can you help us with that one? What is schemata?
That one would be different types of texts.
Nope.
Oopsie. Then knowledge of the world.
Knowledge of the world. Yeah. Anna Belen, what is genre?
It's exactly the last one that we have different types of texts.
Yes. Yes, and you can also have sub-genres. So, for example, I was showing my trainees this morning how to write a review of a book or movie or an LP album, right? Um, so the genre there was how to write a review. Um, and the different stages that might be in a review. So typically there's a first paragraph to catch the reader's interest, and then there's a paragraph that says the positive items, the positive aspects of the movie. The negative uh, points of the movie gets a paragraph as well. And usually there's a recommendation. Yeah. So a review follows sort of standard stages, right? And those are called text types. Yeah. And together that's known as genre. Now, I'm going to give you a reading task to do, and you're going to do it very quickly, right? Because it's a gist reading for gist. All right. Now, this is actually the sort of task that you might ask students to do for an exam, a Cambridge exam, like for a certificate or even IELTS, right? So the first thing they have to do is match the paragraphs to the headings. Each paragraph has a heading, and the heading summarizes the content of the paragraph. All right? So I'm going to give you this task. You've got 2.5 minutes to do it. All right. It's deliberate that you do it quickly. You have to do it quickly because what we're doing is we're training the students to read quickly and get a general idea. All right. So that's reading for gist or skimming. All right. Here is the task coming into the chat now. Please confirm you've received it. Give me the thumbs up. Great. Thank you. I'm putting the timer on now. At the end, we'll quickly check the answers. 2.5 minutes, so that's very quick. Starting now. I've also put the PDF in the chat if you need to look at it. Some people prefer to look at the bigger text. I went crazy and gave you too much time. So please submit your answers now. The idea is that you're supposed to do it quickly, because adult readers particularly should be more efficient. We shouldn't be expecting students to read and understand every word. They just have to read and get the general idea. So press submit. Let's check our answers. Oh, 34 responses. Now, first answer, language skills is the correct answer, yeah. Because it's all about the different categories of language skills. Paragraph B is the nature of texts. Correct. Focuses on the what is a text? The definition of a text. It's more than one sentence, isn't it? Paragraph C is text types and subskills, correct? Because we're talking about letters, articles, postcards, magazines, and the subskills that are associated. Now, paragraph D is yes, it's not actually tips for teachers, so all of us were wrong. That was the one that was not needed. The answer is receptive skills lessons. Yeah, because it was showing us how to organize or structure a receptive skill lesson. And typically, the lesson follows pre, while, and post stages. You may have heard of that already.
Can you
Now,
repeat
don't-
the answers,
Post the
please?
answers. Sorry, Tanya.
Don't worry, Paul.
Yes, these
Can
are
you
the
repeat
answers.
the answers, please?
Yeah, I'll put them into the chat. So A was 2, language skills. B was 4, the nature of texts. C was 3, text types and subskills. D was 1, receptive skills lesson. And the one that was not needed was tips for teachers. Now, do not fret, because we're going to read it again. This time, it's reading for detail. So you've got more time to look closely at the text and answer these questions. How many language skills are there in English? And how are they divided? What are the main receptive subskills? What are the main differences between the 3 stages in a receptive skills lesson? And why are receptive skills important on a teacher training course? Now, you can find the answers in sequence in the text. I'll give you 5 minutes to do it. 5 or 6 minutes should be enough. You can read him more closely. You've got more time to do it. Here is the link. Please confirm you've received it. Yeah. I'll set the clock. Let's call it 5 minutes. So when you're teaching teens and adults, it's a good idea to set timer because you want the students to read more efficiently. Put a bit of pressure on them to read fast, yeah?
Okay.
Time is up. Please
Okay.
submit your answers. Press the submit button. Let's see. Great. Yeah, correct answers here. I can see how many language skills are there. The correct answer is 4, right? Because you've got listening and reading, which make up the receptive, and then the speaking and writing, which make up productive. There you go. But in some form, I think most of you got that right? The main receptive subskills. Now, reading and listening aren't subskills. They are the skills, right? But how do we divide them? That's the question, right? So the main ones would be skimming, which applies to reading, and gist applies to both. In the chat there. And then we've got scanning, which is word level. Now, scanning applies to reading as well. When it's in the mode of listening, then we call it specific information, but it's to do with the word level. And then we've got detail. It's understanding ideas at a sentence or a paragraph level. And then you could also include inference. Understanding information that is not directly stated. What are the main differences between the 3 stages in a receptive skills lesson? The activities and specific objectives are different, right? I think this one is good. Yeah, pretext, it prepares learners for the text, while develops sub-skills through activities. And post encourages learners to respond personally to the text. That's probably the best answer there. Yeah. Oh, that's also correct. What sub-skill they practice and how. Yeah, differences are centered around when a lesson takes place and the main topic or skill which is being taught. Yeah. So we could say that in the there's an introduction, a lead-in, then there's usually some vocabulary teaching. Yeah, maybe some words that might be difficult for the students in the text. It might block their understanding. While typically we have a gist task, whether it's listening for gist or reading for gist, and then we have something that's more focused on details. Post is there's usually a reaction. Students express their ideas through writing or speaking. Why are they important on a teacher training course? Yes. Use of text is a commonly used practice to teach grammar, develop vocabulary, language skills. Yeah. Yeah, it's like knowing how to develop receptive skills is like one of those basic skills of a language teacher that you have to get, that you have to master before you can go on to more like sophisticated skills, like being able to teach grammar, teach vocabulary. Mhm. So they're the basis of language learning. Before you can, before students can learn the language systems, they need to have the language in context. So they're building, they're foundational really, aren't they? Ah. I'm going to give you a task to work on in groups. It's like a brainstorm activity. You're going to work in 3 groups. I'm going to give you a task, a text to deal with. Okay, now group A gets the 1900 house. Group B gets worksheet 2, which is a menu, and worksheet 3 is a shopping lists, right, which is more appropriate for younger learners. Right, so variety of texts. Now, I had a question. Someone had their hand up. Was it
Yes, I did.
Katia?
It was about the last exercise of the
Mm.
Google Forms.
Go ahead.
I didn't get the third answer. So the skills are not, the sub skills are not scanning. No, I'm sorry. So the skill is scanning. That's the skill.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Or scanning is also known as reading for specific information, but it's a sub-skill of reading. Scanning is a sub-skill of reading. Right?
Okay.
The main skill is reading, right? But remember, you can break down this main skill into different components. Like you can divide the driving skill into different components, can't you? Yeah.
Okay, so it has 2 names. Scanning and specific information are like the 2 concepts for reading.
Scanning we only use with reading.
Okay.
Why? Because it's the eye movement.
Okay.
Yeah? It describes the eye movement. It's actually a description of the eye movement over the text. Yeah, looking quickly to find that specific piece of information, right? Now, we don't use that term with listening. We say listening for specific information. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Does that make it clearer?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Now, we're going to use our same Google Doc that we used earlier and the same groups, just to make it a bit simpler for this next task. So each group is going to get a text, and I'd like you to brainstorm the sub-skills that you can use with these texts. All right, so group A is going to use worksheet 1. So think about, for the pre-reading tasks, the while reading tasks, and the post-reading tasks for each text. All right, what could you do with them? Okay. Now, So group A, same as before. Katia, Ingrid, Marlene, and Andrea. All right, so you just need to move down to the bottom here. Yeah, and it's where it says worksheet 1. All you're going to do is like literally brainstorm the types of sub skills that you could develop with these texts. You do not need to read them in detail. You can share ideas about how to use these texts in the classroom. You are free to write notes, but you do not need to write a full lesson plan. And you can write any notes here on the Google Doc, okay? So Katia, Ingrid, and so on, you are using worksheet 1. Okay. Got it? Give me the thumbs up to confirm you've got it. Katia, Ingrid, Marlene, and Andrea. Okay. No one else should do that. Use worksheet 1, okay? Now, B, if you were B, so that was Daniela, Anna Belen, and Axel. You are going to use text 2, worksheet 2. And your worksheet is this one. Okay, so that's the menu, Liolet's restaurant. Now, if you are Xochitl, Vito, Tanya, and Ana Paula, you'll see, and your text is 3. Okay, I'll give you about 10 minutes for this, see what ideas you can come up with. There's no right or wrong answers, it's just, a way of brainstorming ideas, and then we're going to exchange ideas with the other people. 10 minutes, starting now. There you go.
Professor, I still have a question about the
Yeah,
last topic I was asking you.
yeah.
The question is, what are the main receptive soft skills? And you wrote on the chat, scanning and skimming regarding reading, and
Yeah.
detail and inference. So there are 4 main sub skills. Yes?
For each of reading and for listening. Yeah.
Okay, so there are 4 for reading and 4 for listening.
It's not an exhaustive list, but those are the main ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Particularly the first 3, skimming, scanning, and detail. Those are the ones you use most often as a teacher.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. So you've thought of ideas for text 1, text 2, and text 3. Now I'm going to combine you so that you have someone who brainstormed ideas for the other texts that you did not see. Okay, and I'd like you to share ideas with your new group about how you would develop a lesson around these 3 reading texts. Okay, so
Yeah,
in
Andrew,
turn, take
sorry.
turns.
I don't think
Yeah.
we knew exactly what we were doing, to be honest with you.
Well, I
Uh,
can see that you have some ideas.
okay.
So I'd like you to share. So group A, there we are. Sorry, it's malfunctioning. So group A, you've thought of, yeah. Okay, maybe you could think of comprehension of the text, but what type of do you need a gist reading task there? Yeah. Well, that actually might be a gist reading task. Think of the main idea of each paragraph. Yeah. But certainly you've got true or false questions would go in the while reading stage. But certainly the pre-reading tasks for 1 is good. Yeah, make a summary or retell the story to a classmate. Yeah, vocabulary pre-teaching, brainstorm. You need maybe to think of some pre-reading tasks. Sorry, while reading tasks there to check comprehension. But the post-reading's good there. Yeah, you've mentioned scanning. Gist, yeah. What kind of recipe can you make with the ingredients listed? Normally the gist goes before anything else, yeah. That's the correct a generally accepted practice with reading or listening is give them a gist task so that they get the general idea before you go into the detail. Yeah. It's top down before bottom up. Think of it in that way for the while reading tasks. Top down. Yeah. Before bottom up. What do we mean by top down? The big picture, right? The headlines, the subtitles, right? So the students get a general idea of the general purpose and meaning of the text. Bottom up is done second. So you're reading sentences more carefully, right? Okay, so I'm going to put you into 3 groups. Each person has looked at a different text. So explain to the other people in your group what you would do with your text based on these ideas you've written on the Google Doc already. Is that clear? Yeah, it's just a sharing at this point. So you've got 10 minutes for that. Think. Just check you are indeed in different, yeah. Danny, Katia, and Xochitl. Ingrid, Anna Belen, Vito, and Tanya. And room 3 is Anna Paula, Andrea, Axel and Marlene. Now you've all looked at different texts, so go to it, please. Compare your ideas. Screen share if possible. Please go to the breakout room. some great ideas there, guys. There's no real right answers to those activities. So, does anyone have any ideas that you wish to share in the plenary, in the open class, before we close down tonight's session regarding reading skills? Any ideas you found particularly interesting that you'd like to try?
I think generally just like separating in my own mind the different activities maybe for the gist or for detail or for whatever could be really helpful when lesson planning, just so that I can structure questions around those things and like making sure that students are developing, everything that they need to without necessarily making it like now we're going to learn how to look for the gist of things, but like making sure that students are well-rounded.
Yeah,
It's really interesting.
it's a good idea, yes. So thinking carefully about the pre, while, and post stages and what elements need to go into each. Great. Okay, so next week, looking at our timetable, you'll be doing. Well, let's just have a look at the timetable. What's it saying that we should be doing? So today was reading and listening. On the 15th, so between now and the 22nd, you should be doing learner characteristics, learner needs, approaches to language learning. Between August 22nd and September 5th, grammar and functions. And I'll see you on the 5th of September, and we'll look at speaking and error correction, writing and error correction, and the role of error. Why is it important? Looking at our online materials, just let me get them up and I'll answer any questions you may have. There we are. So, someone had a question. Was it Katya?
Yes, but it can wait.
Someone else?
Me.
Go on.
Well, can you please tell me where I can find the recordings of our classes? I would like to review them.
Yeah. I put it in the most accessible place possible. So I try and put it in the topic that it's linked to. So background to language learning, last week session, you can see that the
Okay.
recordings are here, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Now, for today's session, I will put it in describing language and skills because it's related to. No, I'll put it. Where's the best place to put it? Yeah, I'll put it in here, describing language and skills, because it's, although it's not grammar and functions, but it will be.
Is there a way to put them under the resources tab?
I suppose I could put it under the resources tab. How about that? Yeah. I'll do that. I'll put it under resources. Today's, okay? It's just there's also quite a lot in under resources, so it might get. Yeah. How about that? I'll put it there. Resources. Okay. Any other doubts before we finish?
Sorry, Andrew, you said next time we see you is when?
September 5th. September
Okay.
5th. Yeah, so you've got a couple of weeks where you work on the asynchronous material.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's not live, yeah.
Can you show
Okay.
again the videos we're supposed to see? 'Cause I can't find them on the page.
What can't you find?
The videos we're supposed to see next week.
No, there are no specific videos for you to watch next week. It's just you've got to do the asynchronous material. Okay, but what I'm saying is I will place today's recording on the platform so that you can watch it again. Yeah. But what you've got to do for the next couple of weeks is make sure you've done all the background to language learning and then move on to describing language and skills, right? That's your material. Yeah. Is that not clear?
So we need to make the 9 sections of describing language.
Look at the timetable.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have the timetable? Would you like me to share the timetable again? How about I do
I
that?
have it. Thank you.
Yeah, just because that's what guides you through it is the timetable. Yeah. If you're in any doubts, simply follow the timetable. There it is. So that's what you need to do between now and our next live session, 3 and 4. Does that make it clearer?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
So see you on the 5th of September.
Yes, teacher. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Yeah, thank you
Have
so
a good
much.
night.
Thank you. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Have a
Have a
nice
wonderful
weekend.
weekend.
Bye.
Likewise.